Zdravo svima i dobrodošli u novu epizodu Uručenja. Kao i svake sedmice potrudili smo se da vam donesemo još jednu zanimljivu košarkašku priču. Ovoga puta pričali smo sa bivšim košarkašem Partizana, Dalasom Murom, koji danas igra u dresu moskovskog CSKA. On se prisjetio kako mu je bilo dok je igrao u Beogradu, u Partizanu, prisjetio se saradnje sa Željkom Obradovićem i prisjetio se tih večitih derbija koji su donosili posebnu tenziju i pred samu utakmicu, ali i tokom utakmice. On je odigrao onu čuvenu, sada već čuvenu i ludu seriju u finalu play-offa ABA lige protiv Crvene zvezde i upravo je o tome razgovarao sa nama. Ono što je još bilo interesantno jeste da Dalas Mur i danas prati svoj nekadašnji klub, odnosno Partizan, i to na najvećoj sceni u Evroligi, na putu ka plasmanu u top 8 fazu, i govorio je o tome kako izgleda gledanje večitih derbija u Evroligi sa njegovim današnjim saigračima Nikolom Milutinovim i Dejanom Davidovcem. To su samo neke stvari koje je podelio sa nama. U narednih pola sata uživajte u priči Dalasa Mura.
Okay, so for the beginning of the interview, thank you for speaking for Sport Club and thank you for giving your extra time for these media activities and things like that after your practice. First, and maybe the most important question these days, after Corona period, after the war in Russia and everything that happened there, how are you? Are you good? And how do you feel in Moscow?
Yeah, I'm good. Nothing's happening over here. Everybody's safe, so it's perfectly normal. I love Moscow. Moscow is super nice, super friendly people. The club has been amazing, so I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. So what is your daily life now in CSKA Moscow? Is it something different than the last season in Belgrade?
No, not for the most part. You know, it's kind of just practice, come back to the apartment. I kind of eat, I walk around if I can, just like I would do in Belgrade. Nothing really special.
Yeah. So you and your team are doing very well this season in regional competition that you have there. But first, we had that all-star weekend in VTB League, and you took a part in shooting threes, if I'm not wrong, right?
Yes.
And you won that competition. How was it? How was everything about that event?
It was actually a great event. It was really professional. All the guys that came in were, super cool about it. It was just a good event overall. And to be able to go out and compete in a three-point contest in front of, all the fans and actually win was really cool.
Yeah. So how everything happened between you and CSKA last season after Partizan and everything that you had in Belgrade? What was the club?
Yeah, I mean, this summer I went home, with family and stuff like that, and I thought I was gonna go back to China personally the year before, because I was kind of the year before I was in Partizan, and I had some stuff that kind of fell through because over there is the COVID stuff that was going on at the time was getting worse, I would say. But so that kind of fell through. And then, coach hit me up late in the summer, I believe like late August. And I was still at home, obviously. And, when a team like CSKA gives you a call, it's like, why not? So I talked it over with my family and stuff like that. And that's how I ended up here.
Yeah. Is there any difference between CSKA in EuroLeague and now when they are not playing on the highest level? Is there anything different, and can you compare ambitions, let's say, of the club?
No, obviously the ambition is always to win here. That's just the standard, of course, but I don't think anything's changed. Obviously, not playing in EuroLeague is the only difference. Of course, EuroLeague is the best competition in the world besides the NBA. So besides not playing in that, though, we still are expected to win. We won 24 games in a row this year. We just secured first place for the playoffs, so home court advantage all the way through. So we're really excited about that and just try to get better each and every day.
Is there anything crucial that helped you to decide to go to Moscow, or it was an easy decision for you when you get an offer?
Of course, at first, I've, played in Europe, so me understanding a lot more than somebody that hasn't. Of course, I was a little bit maybe nervous because of the situation on what's going on. You just don't know. But in reality, it was Seska, and I'm like I'm not about to turn down that opportunity. Like there's people over there. Obviously, everything's perfectly fine, and obviously, it's one of the best decisions I made in my life. So I'm happy to be here and grateful that I did it.
Yeah. So you played in Serbia, and you probably already know that I'm about to ask you about the Serbian derby, about playing in Partizan and everything. Probably you get used to that. But before that, you also have two Serbian guys in the team now. One of them played for Partizan, and one of them played for Zvezda, actually. So I heard that you guys are hanging out together often. And how it looks like to watch basketball with those two guys and those derby games between biggest Serbian clubs.
I hang out with the Serbians a lot. You know, I'm always with them. I'm always with Deki and Nico. I call Nico Misha because he calls me by my middle name, which is Joseph. And I guess in Serbia, they don't use middle names. They go by their father's name. So I always call Nico Misha because that's his dad's name. And same for Deki, I use his dad's name. We just get along, and it's a good time. Obviously, we talk about the derby. We just talk a lot about basketball and just life and period. So I'm literally always with them, always.
Really? So yeah. I heard that you call them as something as Serbian mafia or something like that. Is that true?
Serbian mafia, them, all three of us together. We just kind of have like three amigos, like we're always together. And they basically call me Serbian because they know I like Belgrade a lot and enjoy being around, Serbian people and just the culture in general. Like there was a great atmosphere for me last year. So they like to joke around, stuff like that.
Yeah. How do you see them, Nikola and Dan, in terms of basketball and playing basketball? And how do you see them on the court? Is there anything specific about them since they're from Serbia? Do you feel that they are maybe a little bit more passionate about the game or something like that?
No, I wouldn't say more passionate, but obviously they know a lot. Serbia being a basketball country and like big on basketball. Obviously, they're really talented, of course, really smart, and they understand a lot. But obviously, Nico is Nico. He's to me the best big in Europe, and Deki is super smart. Obviously, he killed us last year in the finals, and that's how he got here with his great season. So two really great players and even better human beings, in my opinion. So it's not always about basketball, and they don't even like to talk about it that much. They just like to, enjoy and have a good time.
What do you do, guys, when you are not watching basketball or playing basketball?
I mean, we just kind of always hang out, go to dinner, stuff like that. Nothing really too much, but just always with each other.
What is the thing that you still speak about Serbia with your friends when you're trying to describe us as a country or as a nation or something like that? Is there anything specific about you being here and something that you remember the most?
I mean, just being there with my family. Obviously, my kids went to school there. The people were just super friendly. Both of them started to speak Serbian and understand it. And I would say just the atmosphere of obviously, how much they really care about basketball and stuff like that. And to be a part of the game and look around is one thing, but I want to go back and actually be a fan and watch a Partizan game and just see it for myself. Like playing is different. You don't really pay attention to it as much, but it's honestly amazing to see on TV 20,000 people jumping up and down, just going crazy. So I can only imagine.
Did you have a chance to be on the stands and watching Partizan here in Belgrade? No?
No, actually, we had like 5 days off in December, and I had just missed maybe the Bayern game. I think they played like the 29th at home, and I just missed it. I had to come back here because we had practice.
Yeah. Emma and Bo also told me that you've been here again. Yeah, about the holidays and everything. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you speak any Serbian? You mentioned your kids, but what about you? I'm not talking about those bad words, but something else.
It depends. Sometimes I kind of I understand a little bit more when they're talking, like Nico and Deki when they're talking. If they're talking slow, I can understand a decent amount. And I say stuff around them, maybe if I've had a drink or two, but other than that, I don't really speak it. But I like it. I kind of understand a little bit of it.
So you had a chance to work with Coach Željko Obradović also. What can you say about that cooperation?
Željko is Željko. He's the best he's the best in Europe ever, obviously. I mean, I would say his attention to detail every day, he comes really prepared. And one thing that really stood out to me that, nobody gets to see, they always see him just yelling and getting mad and how passionate he is, of course, but he's great with players. Like, he understands us. And I think that's a big thing in basketball, and a lot that a lot of people probably don't see from him. But yeah, he really understands us. He likes to have a good time. He laughs and enjoys just like us. We're human beings. So, like, besides basketball, he understands what we go through on a day-to-day basis, being away from home or not being able to do certain things or stuff like that. So he's really good with stuff like that. And I enjoyed my time with Željko, honestly.
What was your first experience in Serbia? Any situation or something specific that happened to you and that you actually remember? Did you have any kind of a cultural shock or something here?
Not really a culture shock. I didn't have any culture shock of being in anywhere really that I've been. No. Maybe besides I guess being in Europe and them not having like major stores, as in like, designer stores and stuff like that. But other than that, nothing really, nothing.
And what about China? What about that experience?
China was definitely a different experience as well. One that I didn't know what I was going into, especially during COVID. To get off the plane, see everybody in hazmat suits and stuff like that was kind of scary. But once I got there and was able to get to my city and walk around a little bit and go see different things, go to a couple restaurants before we were in the bubble, honestly, it was amazing. It was very beautiful country for sure.
And in basketball terms, what about that when we speak about China?
It's different, It's not, the European type of game where it's just, kind of slow paced defensively. Everything's locked in and matter. It's more of like an NBA style, like fast pace, up and down. Guys have to score a lot of points and stuff like that. But it's also not as easy as everybody else thinks either. It's not easiest for somebody to go score 40 or 50 points or 35 points a night. Like, I don't care who you are. It's hard to do that on a nightly basis because obviously as players you have bad games as well. So to withstand that is something different as well.
So that's transition from American to European basketball for you. We speak about that a lot in our shows and during the games and everything. How was that for you? Was it a hard one? But not only in basketball terms, but also in that cultural way and everything.
Yes. At first, of course, being able to adjust to the game. Coming from college and me being a scorer basically my whole career and trying to figure out how to do certain things, how to pass the ball and how to move, how to set up offenses, where to go, was definitely an adjustment. But I tried to, learn fast and just kind of basically like learn the way of how to play over here. And I think I did a pretty good job of learning. Obviously, Željko wanted me for a reason. So, that kind of helped me. And then he helped me tremendously just with simple things. Basketball is so simple. So when he breaks it down to you in easier terms and you start to really understand it, it helped me out a lot. Stuff that I will remember for the rest of my career for sure.
Yeah. So which part was the hardest one for you to adapt to it?
I would say when to take certain shots and when not to take certain shots. Because coming from the States, sometimes bad shots are okay, or like NBA, it's so fast paced and there's more time. There's so many more possessions that, you get away with certain things that you can't get away with here. Mm-hmm. Every game matters. So there's certain things that you just can't do here that you can do there. So, and the spacing is completely different. So to me, it's harder to score in Europe. I've never played an NBA game, but I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of guys would agree that it's harder to score in Europe than it is in the NBA. But that's just my personal opinion.
So what Željko told you when you took a wrong shot?
I'm trying to think. Did I ever take? Of course, I probably took a bad shot for sure, but I tried to limit that as much as possible. But you know, he's just passionate. He just wants to see the right basketball. So of course he gets red and upset, but he's also going to explain it to you as well and break it down to maybe what I could have did or what I should have done better. It's not, you know, obviously on TV it's going to be, you know, the red, passionate yelling and stuff like that. But he also helps you out a lot behind closed doors when film is going on and stuff like that. No stuff that nobody sees. So yeah, I got yelled at a few times, just to say the least.
And what about the homesickness and those kind of things? How do you handle those kind of things when we speak about that transition and everything from America to Europe? Do you have that feeling still?
I don't. I mean, obviously, you always miss home. Home is home, but you know, you try to kind of not to think about it. The season's long. You you have to get out too. Like for young guys that's going over to Europe, you can't just sit in your apartment all day and expect something to change. Like you have to, you know, go out and meet new people and try to learn their culture, in my opinion, in order to survive in Europe. Like just going home to your apartment every day isn't going to help, you know, because you're always going to be thinking about home. You're going to have a bad game. You're human. You're going to have bad days. Everything, you know, you're going to have good and bad days. So for me, it's always just trying to engage in whatever culture I'm at and with my teammates as well. That's not American. Trying to get out and get to know those guys even better to help with chemistry on the court and off the court so you understand them a lot more.
Yeah. So you mentioned that college part of your basketball career, how everything started there, and not only on college, but how everything happened with you in basketball in general. How did you start to play basketball? Was it a family thing or something?
I don't think it was a family thing. My dad was a baseball player when he was in high school. My mom was a cheerleader and a swimmer. It was kind of one of those things I just picked up and I loved. They said from when I was 5 years old, I just wanted to shoot. So it's something that, I don't know, just happened for me. But I started playing at a young age, of course, like I just said. And then I was always small. Even in high school, I was very little and all I could do was shoot. And then I started to work really hard. I got a college scholarship. And then once I got to college, everything that's when I kind of matured a lot. Like that's when my game took a step to the next level. So, and that's how I became a pro. But I would say it all happened really fast. And I don't think anybody expected it, but I put in a lot of work behind closed doors and I'm happy about my career. So I'm happy to continue to see where it goes as well. So, yeah.
Did you expect yourself playing in Europe on the highest level or something like that?
No. I mean, as a kid, not knowing anything about European basketball or you might hear about some guys playing in Europe, but you don't understand the magnitude of it when you're that young. You're just like, I want to be in the NBA. I want to be in the NBA. It's just, you know, like, it's not like me being a kid in Serbia and first of all, you're either born a Partizan or born a Red Star. So whatever the case is, it's not like I can't wait to play for, you know, this club with this magnitude or to understand the history behind it. I didn't have that, obviously, because I had nobody I knew that played in Europe. But then when you get over there, like, and you understand everything, like, and the money that can be made in Europe, it's life-changing. Mm-hmm. And we talk about it all the time with, you know, different Americans, like, me and Kevin Punter are really close. Zach, everybody. Like we always say, like I never thought in a million years that I would come in Europe and it would change my life, you know? So it's kind of crazy to think about.
So what would be the best advice for someone who is young and who is playing basketball in America right now and want to come to Europe what would you say to him?
I would say just continue to work hard because you just never know. Like you have to work your way up in Europe for the most part, especially coming from a small school like I did, or, so if you don't kind of have an NBA, we call it stamp, to get that EuroLeague tag or a Euro Cup job, you got to work really hard. And to be able to, get to one of the points to play at the highest level or play for a club like CSKA, I mean, I kind of really don't think about it. Obviously there's people, great people like you guys that remind us of stuff like that. And then we sit there and reflect on it, or we talk about it like we are now. And it's like, okay, like, it's crazy to think that, like, oh man, I play for CSKA, one of the best clubs in Europe. I have people say that all the time. And for me, it's just like, it's just basketball, like a day-to-day thing. Like it's something I love to do, and I'm just enjoying the moment. But when I reflect on it, I'm pretty sure I would be pretty amazed. So I would tell the young people to just continue to work hard, because you never know where basketball can take you.
Yeah. So speaking about growing up, we grow up here as Partizan or Zvezda's fans, and it's a family thing. You don't even have a chance to, to decide or to choose.
At all.
It's just the way it is. But what about growing up in Florida and your childhood memories from that sport part of life?
Growing up in that sport part of life, it's completely different. It's nothing like that at all, I would say. Obviously, you have teams that are, you ride or die for. They're your NBA team, maybe your home team where you're from. But sometimes your home city doesn't always have an NBA team. So it's just completely different, I would say. I mean, it's kind of, just like whatever you love, and you kind of support. Obviously, there's diehard fans, just like there's diehard Partizan and Red Star fans, but it's not that intense, I would say. Mm-hmm. It's not that.
Yeah. Do you have time now to watch other sports, NFL or something that you like the most from your continent? Do you have time? Do you have any favorite team?
NFL's tough because all the games are late, but I'm from St. Petersburg, but the Tampa Bay Bucks are right across the bridge. So I supported them. We had Tom Brady. He won us a Super Bowl when I was actually in China. I was super happy about and wished I was home for to celebrate, but it's all good. But other than that, I mean, NBA teams, I don't really watch NBA. Now I will, because it's closest to playoffs, and if there's a game at a decent time, if I'm not asleep, then I'll watch. But for the most part, I watch EuroLeague. Mm-hmm. I watch EuroLeague most.
You're totally a European guy now. You're watching playoffs of the NBA and you're watching EuroLeague. That's it.
Yeah, I watch EuroLeague the most.
Do you watch any other sports, like not only basketball or football, but I don't know. Do you watch Formula One or maybe tennis or something?
No, not really, to be honest. I mean, I kind of hear when I'm with the guys, when I'm with Nico or something in his apartment, sometimes football will come up, European football. Let me correct that. European football. So they like to watch that, or sometimes handballs on the TV, but it's not something that I'd say I enjoy watching, but I appreciate it. When you learn about the sport and stuff like that and try to pick up on the rules, it's actually interesting to watch.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any plans about coming to Belgrade or to Serbia again soon?
I don't know. I don't know if we have another break. I know if we win a championship, everybody, Nico and them, want us to go back just to be in Belgrade for a day. So we'll see. So we win a championship, I'll for sure probably come back to Belgrade at least for a day or two before I go home. But yeah, I love Belgrade. So hopefully I get a chance to come back for sure.
Yeah, so you probably have more friends in Serbia right now, or from Serbia, than you have like back home.
I wouldn't say that, but I definitely have a lot of love in Serbia. I still get a lot of messages, obviously, from Partizan fans asking me to come back and stuff like that. And it's always nice to, have that feeling, of course, to know that you're appreciated somewhere like that with a club like that and the people actually care about you. So that's always an amazing feeling. But yes, I definitely have a lot of support in Serbia, and it's definitely one of my best memories so far, for sure.
What was the craziest message that you got from fans?
Oh my God. I can't even say as far as talking from, Red Star fans and Vesda fans, but like crazy things. But I mean, it's okay. You understand. Obviously, the people are diehard about it. Are the messages nice? No, but it's just basketball at the end of the day, and you just when you understand the rivalry, then you understand it a little bit more. Yeah. I would say.
So I didn't forget the question about the derby. What about that? Should I ask if you remember any of those games, and what do you remember the most from those?
Everything. Every single game was amazing. Obviously, I think it's the best rivalry in Europe, maybe in sports, period, if you know about it. To be a part of something like that, I feel like if you're a part of something like that in a game, you can play in any game. We had last year glass bottles thrown on the court during Red Star's home game. Our game, I think we sold maybe too many tickets or something like that. It was extremely hot in the gym, extremely hot. Everybody slipping and sliding, throwing smoke bombs, whatever you could think of on the court. It's just an unreal atmosphere, and it sounds dangerous. Of course it is, but it's like you want to be a part of that. It's something that you will remember for the rest of your life. And I'm happy to say I played in games like that.
Yeah, actually, always when I speak with somebody who is not from Belgrade or from Serbia about it, we always have smileys on our faces. We're always smiling when we speak about that, but actually it can be dangerous, so I cannot decide how I feel about it, actually. So sometimes we probably cross the border. I don't know if you feel it on the court while you are in the game.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, I don't know. If you ask me, would I go back and do it again? For sure I would. If I get a chance to watch maybe a finals game, because our season will end a little bit earlier and I could see a game, I would go back and watch it for sure. So, I mean, it's dangerous, but it's also something that you just have to see. I feel like you just have to see it.
Yeah. Did you watch that EuroLeague derby between Zvezda and Partizan this season?
Yeah. I watched everything. And then I watched even the cup game with Nico, the Serbian Cup game. So that's another thing to be a part of when they're on both sides. So it could get even more crazy. Yes. So yeah, I tend a lot of Partizan's games. If I'm at Decky's apartment, of course he's gonna have Vesda game on. But we kind of joke still back and forth. But we both support. He supports Red Star. I support Partizan. Obviously, I know everybody on the team. I played with them last year for the most part, besides a couple guys. But yeah, I still watch every game possible I can.
So now Partizan has serious chances to get to the top 8 and playoffs. What do you think about that? They're playing great.
Yeah, they're playing amazing. Obviously, they started off a little bit shaky, and everybody was in question, I'm sure. But last year was kind of the opposite. We started off amazing, and then towards the end, we got upsetted, and it was just really shocking. So to see them, turn it around and then be in EuroLeague and then have that chance to play in the top 8, and I still think they can do it. They got a lot of home games left, if I'm not mistaken. I think they have like 3 or 4 home games left. And we all know what that crowd can do to help them win. So I'm rooting for them, and it'll be a big accomplishment to make the playoffs, for sure.
And what about CSK and your team getting back to the EuroLeague? Do you have any kind of information or something new that is happening about it?
I actually have no idea, no idea or anything like that. I don't know the situation at all. I just basically show up to, practicing games and try to win as much as possible. And, obviously if that happens for the club, obviously they deserve it. Being, to me, the best club in Europe that it's just CSKA Madrid, those type of teams are like, when you think about European basketball, you think about them as being the pinnacle of it. So, I mean, they for sure deserve it. We will see what happens. And if I'm here next year, I would obviously love to be a part of that. This has been life-changing for me, like I've said, and I'm just enjoying the process, or every day, I would say.
So what do you expect until the rest of the season? Like when we are watching you here from the distance, we see like CSK doesn't have any problem in that regional competition. So what do you expect until the end of the season, and what is the main goal for the club actually?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the main goal every year is obviously to win a championship, especially being here. And we have put ourselves in a position to do that this year. I think for us is just staying focused and taking it one game at a time and not trying to look too far ahead, So I think that's something that, coach has done a great job. Coach has been great with us and keeping us focused. And just staying locked in, really.
Yeah, and what about the coach? What is the situation with him, and what can you say about the cooperation with him? He's also the guy from this region, part of the Europe. So
yeah, I mean, for him, obviously to take a chance on me with him being a new coach for CSKA coming from Avtodor, a club also here in Russia. Obviously it's a lot of pressure for him too to step into a job like that. It's not easy being the coach of CSKA. So for him to take a chance on me and the guys that we have on our team and has been great. I think he's done a great job coaching us and helping us along the way. And he's also somebody that understands players as well. So he for sure understands that, and he's been great along the way and keeping us focused, especially as of recently, because after we won 24 games, we lost to Zenit and Unix. So that week, we had like a week or two for the All-Star break where, obviously as a player, you want days off, of course, but we only got like 1 or 2 compared to, like I said, in December, we got 5. But I think it helped us tremendously because we came back and played Unix after our 5 days off without Nico. He was sick, and without Sved because he was injured, and we won by 14. So he did a great job preparing us. We had some two-a-days, which obviously guys are not happy about, but it's part of life. Obviously, it's just something that you just got to do. It's okay too. We needed it. Honestly, we needed it. So I'm happy to play for him. He's one of the best coaches I had as well, besides Željko. So I definitely appreciate him a lot.
So I wish you good luck until the end of the season. First, to stay healthy and for everything be good for you and your teammates. And thank you for speaking for Sport Club again. I hope we will have a chance to see you again in Belgrade, not only on the stands but also on the courts. So
yes, we'll see. We shall see. But you'll definitely see me at a game if I can get there for one of these finals games, just to see some of the guys. Obviously that I'm really close with everybody, really. But just to see them play would be amazing, and to actually watch it and not feel as pressure. The pressure.
Yeah. But what if referees decide to empty the arena again? You need to get out of the arena in that case. So.
That's true. I don't want to. We lost, and it is what it is. But that was crazy.
Yeah. Thank you once again, and I wish you all the best until the end of the season. And I'm looking forward to see you here again.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for having me, and thank you for the interview.
Thank you.
Hvala vam što ste pratili još jednu epizodu Uručenja. Ostanite uz nas, pratite nas na društvenim mrežama, tamo nam pišite svoje predloge, kritike, komentarišite i predlažite nam šta bismo to mogli da snimimo za vas u narednim sedmicama. Ukoliko ste propustili neku od epizoda, naravno sve vas čeka na našem YouTube kanalu. Hvala vam što ste i ove sedmice bili sa nama. Vidimo se za nedelju dana.